Say shout out to our sponsors, Watchman Cigars, Red Hill Brewing, Crave Bath and Body, and Level Up Logo. Without you guys, this episode would not be possible. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it is our take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, while you, the listener, are invited to come up, grab a beverage, and set a spell. We've got a great show lined up for you, as always. Our special guest, Rob Dubin, he's going to give us his special recipe for living a happy life. So we're excited to have him come on the show later. Stick around. He's got some great stuff. His story, by the way, is incredible. So we're excited to have him on here in a little bit. But without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce you to our starting lineup. Checking the chat and checking his black tank level, it is our magic man. Now you see him, now you don't.
No, you really don't see him.
Hey,
I just added him.
How's everyone doing?
Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, he's here.
I was in limbo there for a little bit.
I didn't know he was here.
I'm here.
Hey, welcome to the show, Magic Man.
Thank you. Hey, everybody.
And the guy that does everything else, it is our producer, Brian.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
He sounds excited. He's loving being here right now.
This is the best part of the show where I'm seeing what's broken and what I need to fix, you know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you're twiddling away like the Wizard of Oz back there.
Yeah, I'm just going to move some people around here.
Just
there
move stuff around. There we go. Got it like you like it?
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
This is live. Yeah.
Live. Live action.
Man, at least we're not getting hit by a car. So there's that.
How's that going for us?
Too soon.
Maybe next week. And of course, unfortunately, I am the face of the show. So how about that? I am Biggin, the co-host. We are excited again that you have joined us. Producer Brian, where can people find us on the interwebs?
You can find us at our website at sfpradio.com. From there, all of our social media links will be there: the Facebooks, the Twitters, Instagrams, whatever.
The normals.
Yeah, all of them, probably, whatever they can decide to put there. So you can always contact the show there, leave a review. We like reviews. You can donate. We like donations. You can leave us a voicemail. So if you want to tell us how good we're doing, how bad we're doing, tell us about something else that's going on. If your biscuits are burning, you could burn up the hotline there. There's a little mic in the bottom right-hand corner of the website. You click on that, leave us a message, and maybe we'll play it on the show, and we'll all have a little laugh together. So, of course, this is the podcast for first and foremost, and you can find us on all of your podcast apps of choice: Google, Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever you might subscribe to such a thing.
Yeah. Producer Brian, we got a YouTube page. People may not know that.
So I've heard.
So you can see all of our stuff that's out there. But just a little, just between you and me, there might be some more content coming up on the YouTube page. It's just specifically for the YouTube page. I'm really excited about it. I'm not going to get too much into details because we don't know if it's going to happen yet, but it hasn't happened yet. But sneak peek, there could be something coming your way. And it's delicious. Just letting you know. Hey, if you want to be a show sponsor, shoot us an email at sfpradio@gmail.com. That way, your logo, all the little fun stuff that we say, you could sponsor a segment of the show, anything you want to do, that would be great. Again, just shoot us an email, sfpradio@gmail.com. Or, again, go to the website, do the contact us. You can send us an email, and we'll reply there. Handy dandy, all that fun stuff. We want to say shout out to our sponsors from Colorado.
Sponsors?
Sorry. Well, maybe. We want to say
future sponsors.
Future sponsors from Colorado, if you know what I mean.
He's winking.
I don't know.
He's winking for the podcast listeners.
I forgot that this is a podcast. Anyway, our shout out to our listeners from the great state of Colorado. Magic Man, tell us about a great state of Colorado.
All right. Well, one thing, my wife and I are actually looking forward to visiting Colorado at some point here in the next year. So looking at you there, Colorado. But a couple facts I've got here. Yeah. A couple facts I've got here is it is home to the world's largest natural hot spring swimming pool. And it's also home to the world's deepest hot springs.
Are those clothing optional pools?
According to this picture, I would say so.
Oh my!
Clothing's always a good option for some of us.
Yeah, but it's an option. You're like there may not be people with clothes. Well, how about you? I mean, Colorado is just on the burning edge of invention and open thinking. It's like the France of the United States. All right, what else you got for me?
Oh, I can look up some more here.
Well, I have a headline here that may relate to Colorado. Okay. I saw it earlier. I was doing some research, and it may
out of the ditch.
This is going to be a surprise for some people, but I'm just going to read the headline. Using marijuana may affect your ability to think and plan. That's a headline. This is news. It's breaking news.
Breaking news.
No one knew this before. So just keep that in mind, Colorado.
You may be able to like think about going to Taco Bell and getting the new chicken wings.
Yeah. Like, have you seen those commercials? Like where like a bell rings and people just stop what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're all high.
Sure. Sure.
That's what's happening there.
Yeah. Speaking of what's happening, I want to know what's going on with y'all's lives. Like I ask you guys every week, I be darn. Magic Man, go.
Okay. Well, doing good. We are in a town just north of Brunswick this week called Darien, Georgia. And I was actually looking up some, see if I could find some fun facts about Darien.
Yes,
did a quick
I love it.
Search on Google, and I don't know, there really isn't anything.
There's nothing from Darien, Georgia. Your highlight is Magic Man is there in your midst.
There you go. But no, they have some 10 best things to do in Darien, Georgia. Okay. So just a couple of things here. You got the Fort King George State Historic Site, which was a settlement built in 1721. And then we have the Sapolo Island Visitor Center, and Waterfront Park.
Can you tell me the name of this place again? I'm sorry. Where are you at?
It's called Darien, Georgia.
Okay.
And then it's the Sapolo Islands Visitor Center. So there's an island off of the one of the barrier islands off the coast of Georgia, Sapolo Island, and they have a visitor center. Can I guess kind of tell you about the area and such. They got sweet grass baskets and some of that other stuff. Talk about the African American community and such. And Darien is a fishing town, so it's got a lot of fishing boats, and I know we've visited one place here called Pelican Point a while ago. And of course, it looks like it's home to the world infamous Georgia Peach World.
So, come on.
It's a
Peach World.
Yeah. So peaches and all kinds of other goodies that you can get there. So just a couple of things about Darien, but yeah, doing good here. Just, working during the days, and gets dark, so we don't get to go do much playing at night right now, but, enjoying the RV life.
All right. Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Magic Man, what I would like you to do going forward is every place that you go visit going forward, I would, including Darien, I need you to go to their Wikipedia page and then type in the home of Magic Man this week from the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast. Or just Magic Man from the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast was here.
You think you could go into like a restaurant and get them to take your picture and put it on the wall, like a celebrity kind of thing? The town's small enough. Awesome. If the town's small enough, you might be able to pull it off. Say, hey, I want a podcast. You want my picture on the wall eating your cheeseburger?
This would be even better, sir. Even if they tell you no, you still take your picture and you put it somewhere in the restaurant and then take a picture of the picture.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, carry a picture of yourself, and it's like stick it on the wall and take a picture of the wall with your picture on it.
Right. Yeah.
And then you can post it, say, hey, I was here.
Sure.
We can have
that. That sounds.
We could have a section on the website where the hell was Magic Man, and we could just list the places that you were at with the picture that you've just taken.
That would be so. Find an interesting locale where we're at and take a picture there. Okay,
he's going to get his own. I'm going to start my own Wikipedia page with just locations Magic Man's visited.
This is perfect.
I'm just like list them out, the date. You know, so if you have any stalkers, they can just kind of follow you from town to town.
That's right.
It'd be great.
If we ever become big enough, oh man.
Yeah.
So I mean, this stuff just writes itself. I love it. Producer Brian, how you been doing?
I'm sick of the weather. Can I say that?
Ooh, yeah. You can. Oh, yes, you can.
Can I say that? I know the weather's Magic Man's thing, but his weather's probably better than ours right now.
Yeah.
So last weekend here in the North Carolinas, we had a little snowstorm, right? Mm-hmm. We haven't had snow here in a long time, so it's hard to talk about like events because we're like 4 days from releasing the podcast. But it snowed last weekend, and the weekend snow is supposed to be the best, right? Because nothing's shut down; it's less of a hassle.
You say that,
right? That's what I would think about when I see that sort of thing, right? So that's not what happened. So it snowed last week. We got a bunch of it. It was icy. Mm-hmm. I thought, surely, this is North Carolina. It snows one day and it's 75 the next. It'll be melted. Yep. No disruption. That was already a long weekend because of Martin Luther King Day. All right.
Sure. Perfect.
So that's an extra day for everything to melt. Anyway, so kids didn't go to school this week. That's the punchline here.
Yeah.
Tuesday, they're off. One of them had a off day on Wednesday. Or not off, a 2-hour delay. The other one was off. And then Thursday, everyone went to school. That was today. But guess what, guys?
It's coming back
tomorrow. This is a Thursday night. It's supposed to snow again. So everything's already been shut down for tomorrow, right? So it's a remote learning. It's not a day off. It's a remote learning day, which means I'm not. That's even worse. I'm getting nothing done because my wife is a teacher and she has to teach. So that leaves this guy right here with the fun
Daddy stuff. Daycare. Sign him up. Let's roll.
That's it. How you be doing?
I've got a beef. Technically, I've got two. One.
Beefs? Is there cheese between these beefs?
Ooh, that sounds dirty, but no. Not cheese. So the first thing, speaking about weather, our kid is off 2 weeks because of this COVID. 10 days. I don't know if you heard of the COVID, but it's there, and it disrupts your life in dramatical ways. Dramatical. I just made that word up. And
is that a Southern phrase of the week? Dramatical.
Oh,
no, sorry.
You know what? Did we skip that?
No, we didn't.
No,
I'm interrupting.
We haven't even got there yet. I'm a day late and $1 short. But listen, the daycare's closed, and it's miserable. It's miserable trying to work with a 2-year-old in the house. You just can't do it. It's impossible. With 2 people, we're just juggling everything, trying to figure out who's got a meeting, when we could work. It's exhausting. I don't know how people do this. Like, we just can't keep it. We're so looking forward to Monday when she could go back. It is going to be joyous.
So here's the thing.
Monday, we were supposed to have off of work, Martin Luther King, and she was supposed to be in daycare. Be like, oh, the rare daycare's open, work is closed event. No, sir, that didn't happen. The other one is I decided to test my hand at doing a brisket. I did an overnight 12-hour brisket. I was so worried about how this thing would turn out. I'm new to smoking meat and whatnot. I put it on at 9:00, and just the whole night I was so worried about, what's going to happen. Is the temperature's going to drop, all that kind of stuff. Producer Ryan, have you had that experience before?
Well, I've done 1 or 2 overnights, but I didn't sleep much. Like I would sleep on the couch and then get up every 2 hours to check my temperature. So.
Yeah, that didn't work out. Yeah, I wanted to sleep so bad, but then I kept checking. And then I got done with it going, why did I just do that? Why didn't I just start like 4 a.m. and then just let it roll? Whatever.
Yeah.
But you never know, especially with brisket. You just never know how long things are going to take. This thing was a 7-pounder. Should have taken about 7 hours. Took 12, whatever. You just never know.
Brisket, it's either, it's like a 10-pounder would take 10 hours. A 7-hour pounder still takes 10 hours. Whatever, doesn't matter. You have to you need 12. Doesn't matter the size.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, and probably I bet we have I think Lee Short might be in the chat room here, so you might have something to say about that.
He is.
Yeah.
Yep.
What happened to our chats though? I thought that they were on the screen.
I'm cherry picking the good ones. Like I could do this one. This is from earlier.
Let's go.
There it is.
I like it.
And we had one of our favorites here.
Oh, Leanne.
Yep.
How the heck are you?
Yeah, there you are.
So who else do we have popping in here?
Donna. Hey, Donna. She says we haven't aged. We just got fatter. We didn't age. We just somehow got fatter.
Yeah, I'm swelling a little bit.
All right. So next week, guys, again, we tried to do themes this year. So this month we're focusing on how to make 2020 a better year. Again, this episode, Rob Dubin is going to be on giving us his recipe for how to live happy. Next week, we have Kurt Nelson, a behavioral scientist focused on positive behavior change, motivation, influence, and habit formation. Also, next week, we have the introduction of a Miss Erin Waller. She's going to be another person on the mic for next week. And so we're excited to have her on. Also, just to let you guys know, I am sporting the J.M. Robinson hat. I do Big Brothers, Big Sisters. My little brother goes to J.M. Robinson. He was in a wrestling match, broke his leg, and now he's got surgery on Tuesday on his ankle. So this is for you, bro.
Was he coming off the top rope?
Strong. It wasn't that kind. I wish it was, because that would have been so much cooler. It's the one where you wear the.
Can you imagine high school kids doing like the real wrestling?
Absolutely.
The not real wrestling. To be clear.
Not real wrestling.
I used to have a shirt that said "Pro Wrestling is real." I had a shirt. I missed that shirt.
Yeah. What happened to it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I know. Your wife got a hold of it.
No, this was many years before. I was a single man when I had this shirt. I can't imagine why.
Exactly.
I can't imagine why.
I can't imagine. Yeah. Well, there you go. All right. So now it brings us to the Southern phrase of the week. You guys may have heard this. I definitely heard it, especially growing up. He's gotten too big for his britches. The reason why I heard it, because I literally was too big for my britches and my pants were too small. But in this
2021 for me. That's just me in a nutshell.
Arguably Southern criticism, it translates to, he sure thinks a lot of himself. If you hear this one, you should probably pause for a moment. Southerners like to tell it like it is, no matter what it is. So think of this as a learning moment. This is, if you say you've gotten too big for your britches, probably, high on yourself, super proud, arrogant. In the North, you probably call him an a-hole, something like that. So there's that. Do we got time for some Mountain Eagle speaker piece?
I believe we do.
All right. No guest?
Not yet. Well, you'll know when I know.
You'll know when I know.
I'll know when
you'll know. All
right,
so that is true. Oh, there we go. There's a little ding there. There you go. So if you guys don't know, we do my people from Kentucky. I love my people from Kentucky, and they have a little newspaper called the Mountain Eagle. People have a voicemail. The newspaper has a voicemail where people will call in, air their grievances, and complain about things. And this newspaper will then print said grievances, and it's all over the map. Mostly it's political, but sometimes you get gems. And these are some of the gems. This is kind of what we're trying to do with the voicemail on the show, on the website. So please, if you have any of these gems, please send them our way on the voicemail. All right, so this is also known as Biggin tries to learn how to read again, so bear with me. I would like to know if someone could tell me what the deal is with the Childers Oil Company.
What?
Oh. All their gas stations and why they had never have paper at their pumps to give you a receipt. There's never any paper to go wipe your windows off, check your oil, or anything of that sort. I mean, this is the only place to buy gas and oil in Letcher County, like Jenkins, Neon, Whitesburg, and the latter, is Childers Oil Company. They can't keep paper in their machines? I mean, this is ridiculous. Somebody help me with this. Thank you. So I'm going to ask you, Producer Brian, what's up with the paper in Letcher County? At the Childers Oil Company.
I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. Magic Man's locked out, and I can't figure out how to get him back in.
All right, no problem.
I heard.
No, we'll just move on.
Leave your comments in the. Yeah, it's gonna be the best show of the year.
Best show ever.
Wait a minute. Leanne says she has an explanation for us, so maybe we'll see what she has to come. I'll see what she says. You can go move to the next one, and we'll come back to it.
All right, I'll move to it. Yeah, I want to listen to the radio. That woman said it was fireworks. Oh Lord. Well, I was just wondering, did that woman eat soup beans before she went to bed? And her husband lit a cigarette, and then she set the bedroom on fire when she farted. That's the only way I could figure out it to be fireworks.
Nice.
Wow, that must have been some type of fireworks.
Oh gosh, that's hilarious.
All right. Now this one's a three-peater, so bear with me. All right, so here it starts out. I told you that I would find out the truth and what would happen when I did find out the truth. So your little blonde-headed girlfriend, come and find me. All right, that's one. All right, so then here's another one. Stop coming in drunk. That's all we ask. We enjoy spending time with you, but you can't seem to make it unless you're drinking too much. How many more vehicles are you going to wreck before you learn? If you have to drink so much, stay home. If you want to come, don't drink. I know that you can understand that. We just worry about you. To that I'll say, maybe it's you, family, that causes them to drink. I mean, some families just make you want to drink. So there's that. Leanne, she said, because I work at truck stops, I know for a fact that employees don't care about the paper at the gas pumps, and neither does anyone in charge. All right. Look, who gets a receipt for that? Who really uses that? Bring your own paper.
Sometimes you gotta, like.
Well, yeah, for work.
Usually it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. Truck stops and gas stations will hire almost anyone. And evidently, where you can
truth, isn't
it? Also, where you can flip hamburgers. So here's the next one.
Nope.
Listen up, you girl. I'm only going to say this once. You burger flipping bee. I know where you work. I found you. So there's that.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, she found her.
That was it.
She found her. All right, here's another one, not related. Yeah, you're in jail, aren't you? Ha, good. I hope you stay in there, you roided out piece of crap. Maybe after you're in there for a long time and the steroids have a chance to leave your system, you'll be half decent. But I doubt it. Enjoy your stay and don't look to get out too quickly. Ooh.
Wow.
There we go.
And you've been it's like saving these because these are all like hot, right? They're all
this
extra,
was just last month.
They're extra saucy.
People are dialed in because I guess the holidays went. All right, and then last but not least, going on to our third one. Hey ho, laugh, laugh. You flip them burgers because I'm going to spend his money. Have a nice day.
Oh,
she came in hot and heavy.
Wow.
Yeah. Left 3 different messages on the same week.
Are these voice messages, you think?
Yeah, these. Yeah, okay. And I was surprised they actually printed out the B word in that one, and they, how about it?
That's what you pay for. So you get extra, I guess, uncensored reporting there.
There right? It is. There it is. All right. Well, that was, what was that?
Mountain Eagle.
That was the Mountain Eagle, but we forgot to say that the How You Burn was by Crave Bath and Body. So got to make that up.
Yeah. The training wheels are still stuck on this podcast, you guys. So.
By the way, I need to order some more. How do I do that? Some more soap.
Training wheels? Oh,
probably.
Just go to Crave BB. It's BB as in Bath and Body. CraveBB.com.
Okay. I just go cravebb.com. I can order my soaps and things.
Yeah.
All right. I'm almost out.
Or you can just text me and we can take care of it that way too.
I'll put your number on the screen here, and two folks can just text it.
If you're in Darien, Georgia, I need you to text him now. Nice. All right. Well, let's go to some wacky news brought to you by Level Up Logo. Level Up Logo, guys, they are producing some awesome quality headgear, t-shirts, any promotional materials you guys need. So I don't know, if you're at a truck stop and you own a gas station and you really want some really cool t-shirts, check out Level Up Logo. They can give you some quality stuff at a very awesome price. So check out our friends at leveluplogo.com. All right. So producer Brian, can you give us some?
I can.
Some wacky news?
I have wacky news in front of me. Fresh, squeezed.
I'm gonna check this voicemail. Well, he wouldn't have my voicemail, so I don't know where he's at.
Well, so what we got here, January 20th, which I believe was today. Wow. Transportation officials in Minnesota said a stretch of highway was closed Thursday when a truck lost its load of potatoes.
Boom, boom, boom.
And the spuds froze in place on the road. Wow, that's going to be a hazard. The Minnesota Department of Transportation said a truck crashed Thursday morning in the eastbound lanes of Interstate 94 in Albertville near Wright County, blah, blah, blah. Illman DOT said special equipment needed to be brought into the scene because the spilled potatoes were freezing to the road. So like spatulas and griddles, I would imagine.
Blackstone was very happy to come out, set up their griddles, make some hash brown potatoes for the group.
Just heat up the black top like you would your Blackstone and just get your...
Oh.
Right? So obviously the highway was closed.
Get a flamethrower.
Oh, okay. Flamethrower. That might... That'd be raw in the middle.
Get the lady who farted in the bedroom. How about that?
Oh, okay. Warm up the
fireworks.
That's right.
A little bit there. Okay.
Yeah.
So next we have, let's see what we got here. January 5th, a few days ago, 2 men who tried to smuggle cocaine into Britain in cans disguised as baked beans and condensed coconut milk have been sentenced to a total of 15 years in prison. I'm going to read that again.
Yeah,
2 men who tried to smuggle cocaine into Britain. They used cans, like baked bean, and condensed coconut milk. Okay.
I mean, you know, like the Boston baked beans? Like, I enjoy those. Those are delicious. And I feel like that's pretty much close to the entire recipe for those.
Oh, well, you know, British baked beans are like tomatoey. They're not sweet.
Oh.
Typically, it's a breakfast. For breakfast, you can find them in like World Market. It's like the teal can, but it's like beans and tomato sauce. So that's what they're going with here. That's crazy.
For breakfast sounds interesting.
You know, I read this headline originally, and I thought Coke already comes in cans, and then it didn't hit me until the other Coke, right? Coke,
the cocaine.
Coke comes in cans already. Anyway. Someone laughed at that. So what we got here? They're arrested in 2020.
And have you guys watched the new season of Succession? Mm. Or have you guys watched any Succession show? Mm. There's a lot of cocaine use from that. And I got to thinking about, like, what do they use in the show, like when they are actually snorting it and stuff. And interestingly enough, in like the Godfather movies with all the cocaine there, they would use talcum powder and they would mix it with like baking soda. So thought that was interesting. But now they sorry, yes. He's on the link call, Brian, but he's the only one there.
I don't see anyone on there's no one else in here.
Sorry, guys. Live streaming.
Yep. Can he hear us?
He says there's nobody else there.
So maybe did you send the wrong link?
I sent the same one that's in the calendar that I'm using.
I gotta make a note to clean up some video. Well, in a minute we might have a guest on here.
Meetwithgoogle.com. I think that's where I messed up.
There's a I know what you did.
Okay.
He's in the Google meeting that's not real. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
So you send that. I'm gonna go on to the next article here.
Where's the next? How do I say? Where's the link for the show?
I'm gonna copy it. I'll get it to you real quick.
On Slack.
I'm gonna text it to you. Is that better?
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. What else we got here? We got smuggling coke in bean cans. This looks like an interesting one here. Pickens, South Carolina. I've been there. One South Carolina police department decided to have a little fun as they dealt with this weekend's winter storm. The Pickens Police Department released what it called rare body cam footage of the arrest of Elsa. Children of all ages, of course, know that Elsa is the character from Disney's animated film, Frozen. The rare footage posted to the agency's Facebook page on Sunday afternoon shows officers handcuffing the character after a brief foot chase. Her accomplice, the abominable snowman. Is that how you spell that? Wow. Is still at large. Oh, he has unleashed more snow and ice. So, yeah. So that's what terrify, let's torture some children by watching their favorite character get arrested by the police.
That's what I was thinking on that.
What? I mean, who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, they thought it was funny, until little Susie looks out the window and seeing Elsa getting handcuffed.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I saw another police thing earlier. Let me pull it up real quick.
Oh, Lisa, Succession is great, by the way. Sorry.
You're fine. It was an emergency alert that went out from a police department in Minnesota. Let me look it up real quick. I was looking at it earlier. Oh, Missouri, excuse me. Missouri State Highway Patrol alert sent cell phones blaring statewide. And this is what it said. Authorities in Gotham City, Missouri were searching for a purple and green 1978 Dodge 3700 GT. But there is no Gotham City, Missouri. And the car reference was the one used by the Joker in the 89 Batman movie.
Oh.
So this went out a statewide emergency police band. Soon after the Tuesday evening alert, the patrol sent another saying to disregard that message. So apparently they had that was one of their test messages about the purple and green Joker mobile. Mm-hmm. And it went out live. Yeah.
If you look at Lee's comment, he said that he actually got that message on his phone in Missouri.
Oh, well,
how about you? Look at you. Also, to follow up that story, they actually use vitamin B now as a powder. And I'm actually thinking about getting some just because it actually gives you an endorphin rush and almost perks you up like you're on cocaine just for a little bit without the horrible side
So
effects.
you're going to be coming into your Zoom work meeting going,
yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah. Succession is great. It's got a lot of dirty words and things in it, so watch out. But man, it's a good show. Awesome.
Yeah, I just asked Lee if it came in at like 2:45 in the morning. I've gotten some of those alerts.
Oh, like fake alert. I don't get anything like that.
Yeah, I've gotten alerts in the past that come like. I think there was one that happened. I want to say it was from the city of Concord, and it came in like at 11:45 at night, and they sent out a couple months ago, and they came and they said, "We're sorry, we didn't mean to send that out."
Yep, they sent it at 11, and then they sent another one at 10. And I saw somebody reply, "I was asleep both times, and you woke me up." I mean, that's a good day right there. If you're asleep at 11, and then you're still asleep at 10, that's a good day.
Wow,
it's a good day. So
I got another one here for you if you want it.
Okay. Yep.
An Ohio man was arrested after he stole a vehicle with a man sleeping in the back seat. Police from Tiffin, Ohio, said this man stole a white Audi with a passenger / hostage asleep in the back seat. The man in the back seat apparently awoke and started texting police updates of what was happening during the alleged theft. Police say that they were able to perform a slow-speed vehicle termination maneuver to end the pursuit. Just imagine like waking up and someone else is driving your car. Like you probably just sleeping in the back seat. We've all slept in the back seat of a car at some point, right? I mean,
sure, yeah.
It's not that unusual.
You wake up, what the hell? That's exactly what I'd be doing.
Yeah, so he started texting the police, "Hey, I'm on this street." Yeah.
Would there be any maneuvers that you would like try to stop him?
Because if you just be quiet and just like,
hey,
don't bring attention to yourself is what I would think.
Sure. There's that. Magic Man, do you ever have the thought, like, what if somebody backs up their truck to your RV and then hooks it up and then just drives off with you in it?
No, that's actually a very good question. Yeah, that's a very good question. I was actually thinking about that.
Look at me.
Yeah. Woo! Well, the fortunate thing is we've got levelers that come down and level and push down to level out the RV when we set up camp. Plus, I have these wheel things I put between the tires. There's 2 tires on each side of the RV, and they basically expand out and kind of lock the wheels. So if they try, they'd be basically dragging the whole thing behind them. It wouldn't be rolling; it would be dragging. So
there's that.
Lee was made a comment saying he figured the guy was okay getting the theft charge, but not the hostage charge. The man was actually charged with felony aggravated robbery, kidnapping, theft of a motor vehicle, and fleeing and eluding police. So that's a good day for somebody.
There you go. Well,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, looking at that, it's like, well, you shouldn't have stole the car in the first place, and none of that would have happened. So, I mean,
well, yeah, that's karma, I guess, or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Rob's on the YouTube there.
All right. Yeah, Rob is.
If we can get him in our interview.
Hey, Rob, did you hit that the link that I sent via email? This is how good quality shows work, guys.
Yeah. So last week's episode was really easy to edit. I didn't have to do anything to it. I just checked some levels, downloaded, published it.
Well, yeah. Good news is, you'll have so much time because the kids are still in school or still remote learning. You'll be able to process this.
That's the opposite. If they're here, I can't do anything, right?
Can you put because nobody else is going to be here. Can you put the link in the chat for him? He said he went into the room, but he was the only one there.
Yeah.
I sent another one.
He went to the Google Meet room. Not
yeah, he went to the Google Meet.
Can you put the other one out?
Are we sure we want to?
I'm not going to put the other link in the public.
Yeah.
Because we might have crazy Missouri barbecue guys joining.
Rob, I sent you another email with the link in there. I don't know if you can check that one. I sent another email back. Yeah, it was just the link.
Okay.
His reply back. Producer Brian will get an extra bottle of bourbon from me today. No, it wasn't a YouTube link. It was a Ecamm Live link.
Yeah.
If you...
we'll get it figured out in a second. We go through the comments here and see. Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
There he is. We got something happening here. He's in the green room.
Is.
All right. I am going to make this happen right about now. And here we go. Maybe. Where's that button? Here.
There we go.
All right. Hey, Rob, can you hear us? Set a buffer for a second here.
I'm frozen on the screen, but on my screen, I see myself.
Hopefully you should catch up in a second and you'll see everybody here.
All right. Can you hear us okay? Having a little bit of problem. Can you hear us at all?
I can hear you fine.
All right. Yeah, we got a little bit of...
You're not hearing me?
Yeah, we are. It's just there's a little bit of a delay, I think. That's what we're dealing with. But we'll get things cleaned up here.
I feel like a lightweight. I saw your last guest brought you some bourbon.
Well, you're bringing us your story. So either way, I think both of us will fill our souls and make us warm either way. So I'm excited about you being on the show.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Rob, just to give our listeners just a little bit of an intro, you and your wife spent 17 years on a sailboat sailing around the world. Along the way, you shared your lives and learned from people from diverse cultures in over 100 countries. You've lived an extraordinary life with insights on human fulfillment, and you gained along the way to provide both inspiration and a map for your audience to navigate transformation in their own lives. We are really excited to have you on the show. There's so much more about you and your story. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Rob, tell us a little bit about who you are and just kind of your story, if you don't mind.
Well, I was a filmmaker. I'm going to have to take out my headset, so I've got a bit of a delay.
Sure, okay.
I was a professional filmmaker, and my wife and I did documentary movies all over the country, or all over the world. And one year we live in Colorado, and we were on a backcountry ski trip, skiing into a cabin deep in the Colorado mountains. And this was a long time ago when the weather reporting was not very good and before the internet weather existed. And a huge storm blew in. It turned into one of the worst storms in Colorado history for 5 days. It was massive amounts of snow. There were avalanches all over the state. And in the whiteout, we were unable to find the cabin we were headed for. And we ended up spending 5 nights out in the wilderness, and one of the biggest searches that Colorado had ever had. And about the 5th day, they decided nobody could possibly still be surviving. And search, the sheriff said they would find our frozen bodies in the springtime. And we actually got out of the woods that same day towards sunset. And because our story had gone viral, the first call I got was from the President of the United States congratulating us on surviving. And so we had that experience. Cool. And then after that, my wife's feet had frozen so bad being out there that the doctors wanted to amputate her feet. And they told us they were going to have to amputate both feet and most of her fingers. And so we kind of really had a soul-searching moment. That they told me that one evening, and they hadn't told her yet. And I went home and I walked in the house and I just collapsed on the floor in tears. And I just sort of spent a sleepless night laying on the floor wondering what kind of future we were going to have. And it was certainly the lowest point in my life. But when I finally woke up in the morning, I felt really powerful. And I went to the hospital before the doctors could get there. And I told my wife that she was going to have a complete recovery. And that's what we decided to focus on. And the doctors came in a little bit later with the paperwork for the surgery. And we refused to sign the papers authorizing the surgery. And so for us, that was kind of like what COVID has been for so many millions of people, that we started asking questions about what our life was going to be like, what life should be like. And that's what many people are going through with COVID. You know, it caused them to re-examine their lives a bit. So we did that. It was sort of our own personal COVID moment. And 2 years later, we decided to take off and go sailing. And we had spent a lot of time, we were sailors and we were making sailing movies. And so we had spent a lot of time with people that do the America's Cup, millionaires and billionaires that go after that sort of thing. And then we took off sailing and we were with people that were barefoot villagers living in grass shacks. And we saw this dichotomy that some in each group were not happy. And so we were very interested in what made people happy. And we started focusing on happiness and living a fulfilling life. And so that's what we spent the next 17 years sort of researching.
I mean, there's so much there to unpack. Like during those 5 days, what was going through your mind on that? Can you still hear us?
I'm now.
Can you still hear us or no?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, all right.
I just got you again.
Okay, sure, no problem. I was asking through those 5 days, what was going through your mind of just trying to survive?
Well, it's kind of about resilience and not giving in to letting outside forces direct your life. There's a term, I guess, social scientists use called Locus of Control. And what it means is the location of control of your life. And so people fall on a spectrum, and some people think that they're not in control of their lives. And so stuff happens to them, and other people feel like they can control their lives. And so they exert more control. And sure enough, when you exert more control, you have more control. So that's what we did both when we were out in the wilderness and when we came back and told the doctors that we were going to have a complete recovery. And my father was a doctor, so I have a gigantic amount of respect for the medical community, but we still decided to be in control of our own destiny. And that has made a huge difference for us in every stage of our life. And that's kind of, I know we're going to talk a little bit about happiness, and that's kind of the precursor to any kind of self-improvement, making yourself happier, anything else, is that you need to feel you can make that self-improvement. You need to feel you can improve yourself, that you're not waiting for outside circumstances to do that.
Yeah, I think so many times we just get so wrapped up in our own circumstances and focus on the things we can't control, right? And that becomes the center of that. One question that we have from our listeners are, what are the documentaries that you've produced? Because we've got some documentary fans that are listening.
Well, my filming career was quite a long time ago because we sailed for 17 years and then we've been back for a while. So I stopped making films quite a long time ago. But I did a lot of work for ABC Sports. If you have some of your listeners that are kind of my age, they might remember a TV series called American Sportsman. I did a lot of work for them. And what we did with American Sportsman, we had two kinds of shows we did. Some of them were taking Hollywood celebrities and doing their favorite sport with them. So like pheasant hunting with Clint Eastwood, or Cheryl Teague's going to see wildlife in Africa, something like that. And then the other section of it was very much expeditionary, climbing big mountains in the Himalayas, or kayaking unexplored rivers, things like that. So I did a lot of that work. I did a lot of ski films. I filmed the America's Cup and other sailing races for a number of years. We had a TV series on the Travel Channel about sailing, and we had another TV series on ESPN also about sailing.
That's fascinating. And you've always wanted, as a kid, you always wanted to become a filmmaker in photography. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm losing the first part of your questions, but I think I understood. Yeah, I was really lucky when I was 18 years old and all my friends were applying to liberal arts colleges. I knew at that point that I wanted to go into photography. I started mountain climbing in the Colorado mountains when I was a teenager, and camp for a little, and I would go pictures, and pictures were terrible, a little cheap camera. So I got interested in photography because I wanted to show people the magnificence of the mountains. And that led me to go right into photography school instead of going to regular college. I went into photography school, started with stills, and then went into filmmaking. And when I got out, I started my own company. I was still in my 20s, and I luckily had some good breaks, so I was able to do some things with AC.
I think when I was in my 20s, I was just trying to figure out how to still drive a car. I was a little far behind.
Well, you're the norm. I mean, most people don't know what they want to do. And even at the time, I knew how lucky I was because I'd seen my older brother and friends. You know, most people just don't know at 20 years old. And I just knew I was lucky that I had that direction in my life. And I knew it was unusual, but I went with it. You know, my parents wanted me to go to college for something, a real career. And I just depended on what I wanted to do and went for what I loved. And I kind of had always living my life for myself rather than being swayed by other people's opinions, which is one of the components of happiness for sure, is being able to be your own counsel.
Mm. Well, we're huge food guys, so we've got to bring this up. You've traveled all around the world. What is one of the most memorable experiences with food that you've had? Some of your favorite cuisine?
Well, our favorite food was definitely Thai food, and Thailand was our favorite country out of 100 countries because the people are so warm and. But one of our favorite memories was about food was in Indonesia. And the word for chicken in Indonesia is ayam. And we see all these little food carts on the street that said, ayam Kentucky. So it was Indonesian Kentucky Fried Chicken.
That's great. I'm from Kentucky, cool. So I can relate.
Exactly. We're worldwide.
Awesome. You mentioned earlier that when you were traveling, you saw some people that were happy, some cultures that were happy, and some of them were not. What culture, what region when in your travels did you find was the most happy? And why do you think that was?
It's an interesting question. And I guess I would say the Asian cultures that are heavily Buddhist were probably the happiest people. I mean, the Buddhist religion is kind of takes a different focus than Western religions. And I think it leads the people in a certain direction that made them very happy.
Mm.
But the thing that was, I think, more interesting is when we were doing the America's Cup and we were with people that are hundreds of millionaires, billionaires, and some of them were unhappy. And then we went out sailing and we would be with these people that lived in grass shacks and dirt floors, and some of them were very happy. And our first year out sailing, we were in the Bahamas and we befriended a psychiatrist from Palm Beach, Florida, which is kind of Millionaire's Row down there. And he said his career was treating the ravages of wealth. And so I think a lot of us in America, we think that when our career is going exactly how we want and we reach a certain amount of money, then happiness happens to us. And it just isn't that way. That's actually backwards. We make a decision to be happy, and then that allows you to be more creative, more resilient, more resourceful, and those things lead you to do better in your career, make more money, be healthier, all those things. And so it's a full circle, but really what comes first is making the decision to be happy, not waiting for XYZ to be happy. And it's confusing because when you do reach a certain result in your career, or you buy the new car or the new house, or you're in a new relationship, those things in fact do make you happy, but they make you happy for kind of a short period of time. You know, when you're 16 and you get your first car, or whatever, you afford your first car, you're ecstatic about it for a long, long time. By the time you're 40 and you get a new car, like, you know, it's cool for a few months or 6 months or a year or whatever, but it's not the same thing as when you're 16. And so really the way to be happy is to give yourself permission to be happy, and then decide to be happy. And then you do the things that happy people do. There are traits of happiness and there are habits of happiness, and you start adopting those. And it's a self-fulfilling sort of prophecy, a virtuous circle.
Let's talk about those. What are the traits and habits of living happy?
I have a little an acronym. I can't even say it. An acronym that I use, and it's called Live Happy. And so the live are the 4 traits of happiness. The L stands for learn optimism. The I is invent your new story. And I'll come back and explain each of these in a minute. But the I is invent your new story. V is value yourself. And E is to exert emotional control. So those are the 4 traits of happiness, and they're kind of personality traits. And then the second part is happy, the habits of happiness. And those are a little easier to practice. They're habits. You could try one tomorrow and see how it works for you. The personality traits take a little more work, but we'll talk about each in turn. So the first one is learn optimism, to see the glass as half full. It has to do with what I mentioned earlier about self-improvement, believing that you can improve yourself. The second one is invent your new story. We're all carrying baggage and experiences from our previous life that don't help us. So when we first moved onto our sailboat, we moved out of a 2,500 or 2,800 square foot house into a 350-foot sailboat. And we had to get rid of a lot of stuff. Excuse me. We had to get a lot of stuff to move from a big house onto a little tiny sailboat. And we couldn't take anything with us on the sailboat that wouldn't help us sail better or be safer or live better on the sailboat. We just didn't have room for anything extraneous. And that's a perfect analogy for life, because we're all carrying this baggage that doesn't serve us.
Wow.
And so if you can get rid of those old stories that aren't helping you in life and invent a new story, figure out something bad that happened to you. If you're letting it hamstring you today from getting what you want, think about that story in a new way And one way I teach people is to ask better questions, because our brain is designed to answer questions. So if you ask your brain, why do I always fail? Why am I not in a happy relationship? Why did I get a D on my test at school? Your brain will come up with some kind of answer for you. And if you ask your brain empowering questions, it'll answer those questions. If you ask it, why does everything turn out really great for me? How is it that I succeed so well? It'll come up with answers for that. So if you want to be optimistic and have a better story to change your old stories into empowering stories, the way to do both of those things is to ask empowering questions. And even if something really terrible happened to you and you can't find a positive out of it, you can at least figure out the lesson that you learned from it and make that a positive. So those are the first two. The next two, the value yourself, is what I mentioned earlier, is that trust your opinion. Don't live for other people's opinion of yourself. And don't try and please other people to make and not live authentically by doing that. And then the last one, the E, is to exert emotional control. And it's not about stuffing down your emotions, but it's about accessing emotions that help you achieve better things. So if you are angry or you spend a lot of time overthinking things or worrying about things, those states don't allow you to be resourceful. And for instance, when you asked about our survival experience, if I started overthinking or feeling down or depressed, we probably wouldn't have survived. But we survived because I accessed positive emotions. I felt how strong we were, even though we hadn't eaten for days. I focused on the strength that I could feel in myself. Every little positive thing I could focus on, I did. And that's what got my wife and I through that experience.
Wow. Yeah, I think the thing that really stuck out to me on that was just the be authentic piece. Is we see just these Facebook lives, people that portray so that everything's perfect, but in reality they're hurting. And I think for me, especially having a group of guys that I can be real with and be authentic with, that really is helpful for me to be able to say, look, I'm having a really bad day, or this has been really terrible. And just to be real and honest with them, I think that's been great. But yeah, that definitely sticks out with me.
That's gigantic in all of our lives. I'll tell you a little story. You can see that I'm bald, which is no big deal because I'm in my 60s. But what you wouldn't know is that I actually started going bald when I was in kindergarten. And I got these bald spots on my head. And when I was in kindergarten, it wasn't a big deal. My friends would want to feel my bald head, and then we'd go play marbles or do whatever kindergartners do. But by the time I got into fourth grade, I got teased unmercifully. And they didn't have these anti-bullying campaigns like we have now. And one day I was on the playground, and these two sixth graders, 2 years older than me, started teasing me. And I just sort of got tunnel vision, and I lost it. And I ran at these kids with my swinging, sort of. And a few minutes later, both on the ground crying with bloody noses, and I didn't have a mark on me. And it was an interesting thing because I became everybody's hero for a day or two. But the real lesson was this. Somebody said to me the next day, or after that happened, and I don't know if it was my parents or a teacher or maybe another kid, but somebody said to me, "You don't even like those kids. Why do you care what they think about you?" And literally from that moment on in fifth grade, all of my sense of self-worth comes from me. I don't care what people, somebody else is none of my business. And so that's what enabled me to go sailing in the middle of my film career, and not worry. I mean, nobody, my parents, my family thought, what are you talking about? You're walking away from a career you built for 20 years. I was 42 years old. You're in the prime of your earning years. And it didn't matter to me what other people thought because I cared what I thought. So I agree with you about living authentic yourself is a huge.
Rob, we're having a lot of difficulty hearing you. You're breaking up. I wonder if switching off the video might help give you more bandwidth. We can still continue to talk, but maybe turn off your video and we could hear that a little bit more clearer.
Okay.
Still have you on your video. Sorry to ask you to do that. We could keep rolling if it's too much of an issue. You can keep going.
Yeah, so we're using some new software here, Rob. It's I think you're our first person we've actually brought in as a guest. Let's see how it works. And right now I'm not impressed. So hopefully the recorded part will be a little better for us in a little bit.
And in the meantime, we want to say shout out to Tom. Thanks for joining the show. He says he's a huge fan of yours, Rob, that you love whitewater kayaking with him. So what's up, Tom? Thanks for joining. Well, if it's a difficult issue, then don't worry about it. We'll just keep going.
Yeah, he's muted himself. Rob, you're muted at the moment.
Can you? Yeah, we can't hear you, and I don't think you can hear us now. Can you hear us or no? Okay, he can hear us, but we can't hear you.
He's muted himself on the page there.
You're on mute somehow. On our page?
Yeah, on the eCam page, probably.
Maybe you could leave and then come back. Maybe that might help. There is okay. I think he's going to give that a try. Well, guys, any thoughts? What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I mean,
what he said.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian. No, you go ahead.
Producer Brian.
Go ahead.
Okay, no, what he was saying about how people saw people in grass huts that were happier than millionaires, and that kind of aligns with what I've heard in the past. Folks that have done missionary work in Africa, etc. That those folks out there that don't have a whole lot tend to be a lot happier than people that do have a lot of stuff, because I think with the acquisition of wealth, there may be like an attitude that goes with it, that what you get is never going to be enough, and that's not the case all the time. I mean, there's plenty of people that happen to be just lucky and gotten wealthy, but I can tell you, it's been nice for me and Lori as far as having purged a lot of unneeded stuff from our life. I mean, we basically went through the same process. Purge, get rid of all the extra stuff, whittle down to only what you need to be able to live comfortably on the road. And of course, Lori with her soap business, that she can continue to do that on the road. I can continue to work, but we would be able to to be able to live on the road and just that. We don't have to have all the extra stuff.
Yeah, he made mention of when he scaled back that he could only take those things that would help him live better or be safe or to make it easier to live on that sailboat. And man, that speaks volumes, as we carry around so much other stuff that if we just really focused on the things that will keep us safe, that we need to live easier and to help us out, I think that would really maybe make things a little bit easier, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm going to bring him back in here real quick.
Okay, great.
Oh, good.
There's a button for that. Here it is. All right. So,
all right, we're going to try it again.
There he is.
You know, my biggest feedback is, how do you carry a smoker?
I hear you guys just fine.
Okay, perfect. Good. All right, we're going to try it again.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can.
We can.
Hey, Rob, is it possible to take a smoker on a sailboat? Because I love smoking meat, and I don't know if I could truly be happy sailing around the world without one.
We had a smoking area on our boat, and it was 3 feet behind the stern rail.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
You get a picture of that in your mind. It's 3 feet off the back end of the boat.
Yeah, that's where, if it smokes, that's where it goes, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
That's perfect. So Rob, we got through the traits. Now, what are the habits?
So the habits, and I'll go through them as a group and come back and talk about each one. The H of happy is happiness is a decision. We talked about that a little bit ago. Something you need to be happy rather than waiting for XYZ to happen for you to be happy. It's actually the very simplest thing. If you're listening, want to take one thing with them from tonight, I ask people to sit down towards the end of the day, just before you go to bed sometime, and take 5 minutes and write down half a dozen things you're happy for, you're grateful for that day. And it could be something simple. You got a good parking spot close to the front door. Your kid did well. Something very simple, but write down 5 or 6 things that you're grateful for that day. And it might only take you a minute to write all 5 or 6 of them, but take 5 minutes and think about each one. Think about why it made you happy, what you felt about it, how you felt when you observed that. And if you just do that every day for a month, it'll probably become a habit that will last with you. And I don't always write them down at this point. I certainly did for a long time. But I focus on it at the end of each day. And one thing about when you're feeling gratitude is you can't feel anger and worry and can't feel negative emotions if you're feeling grateful for what you have. So that's a real simple thing everybody can do. The next one is the P is practice mindfulness. And the next P, practice contribution. And the last one is your dreams. So practicing mindfulness is, there's a lot of mindfulness meditation taught these days. And it's really, mindfulness meditation is where you meditate place and you just observe your thoughts and you observe your breathing and you don't judge your thoughts. And so the idea is to just try and calm your mind a bit. And I take it a little bit further because the idea of not judging your thoughts, if you can take that non-judgmental attitude and extend it to behavior of other people, it'll make a life-changing difference in your life. Somebody cuts us off in traffic, and if your first response is to be angry, you've just let some person you don't know, you've never seen before, and you never see again, be in control of your emotions. And if you can just be non-judgmental and just say, gee, I wonder why he would drive that way or whatever, and not judge it, you'll go through life a lot happier. It's when we judge other people's behavior by our standards, nobody else has exactly the same standards. Even your wife or your intimate partner doesn't have that. And so if you hire standard, some frustration. And the next one is practice contribution. And contribution, I think, is the holy grail of happiness, because if you continue to giving. You can do a lot of things to make yourself happy. You can do all these things I'm talking about, but eventually you're going to find that long-term happiness requires that you be part of something bigger than yourself. And it's maybe the podcast you guys are doing for your listeners. It's contributing through a nonprofit organization, but being part of something that's bigger than yourself is really a universal way to happiness. And then the last one is your dreams. And I go through a process in the courses that I do where I call it dream harvesting, and you figure out your goals and dreams, and then you put a timeline to it, and you make them very real to yourself. Picture your ideal day this year, next year, 10 years down the road, and you come up with a platform and a timeline and an action plan to go after your dream. Because one of the things that's also critical for long-term happiness is growth and progress. So you have to have things that you're working towards. You don't always have to achieve them, but you have to be putting some effort towards them to really feel happy with the way your life is going. Because none of us can stand still. You might be happy today, but you're going to need something different to make you happy in an ongoing basis. So anyway, that's the Live Happy framework that I use in the courses that I teach.
Learn optimism, ignore others' opinions or invent the story, value yourself, exert emotional control. Happiness is a decision, a daily gratitude, practice mindfulness, practice contribution in your dreams. That is beautiful. I mean, if we could focus on those, that's great. I think, though, my wife may have contacted you about the person that cuts you off, because, man, that burns my biscuit so easy when somebody else cuts me off, and I'm like, oh no, I let them have it. But I will try to practice mindfulness next time that happens.
Well, I'm just like you, because it gets me very angry right off the bat, and I try and practice what I preach, and I'm like, I fall off of that wagon pretty regularly. But I did a funny thing with a friend of mine one day. We were driving somewhere, we weren't in the least bit of a hurry, and somebody cut in front of us, and he got ballistic. And I kind of thought it was funny that he got so angry. And so I looked behind it. He then cut the person off again, got in front of him, and I looked behind him. I looked behind us at the other car, and I said, "Oh, I think his wife's in the back seat." And I said, "She's laying down." And then I think maybe she's pregnant, and he's racing to get to the hospital. And I made the whole thing up. There was nobody in the back seat of the car at all. But my friend went through this massive change, thinking that he had just got in this guy's way, and it totally fried my friend's brain, and he thought about it differently, I'm sure, ever after.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's because you don't know what's going through the other person's head, right? You can't. How do you judge someone? They might have an emergency, or even if they're just late for work, it can freak people out, right?
Exactly. If you just using your value system to judge him, not going to measure up, because none of us have the same rule for life. You might have a rule that says nobody can cut you off, and you might have a rule, hey, if somebody cuts you off and you're in a hurry, what's the difference?
Yeah.
I think my copay for therapy is now going to go to you this week. So congratulations, you get the $100 copay.
Well, now I don't feel so bad for not bringing you fresh bourbon.
Well worth it. So just if you were handed $10,000 to go on a vacation wherever you wanted to go, where would you tell people to go visit?
Well, I don't know that I can answer that question. Everybody likes different things. I mean, for me, I said our favorite place was Thailand. We lived there for 3 years on our boat. The people were just so gentle and wonderful. My Thai friends would greet me in the morning or in the afternoon and say, "Are you happy today?" You meet somebody in the Western world and they want make a lot of money today and check 23 things off your to-do list and accomplish a lot and spin a lot of wheels. And in Thailand, being worthwhile. So that was my favorite place. But everybody has different things that they like and different places they're looking for. So I don't know that I can answer that for anybody else but myself.
Sure. Rob, where can people find more information if they want to dive more into this, to learn how to live happy? Or you have an extensive list of things, other things that you talk about: overcoming fear, mindset for survival, insights from travel. I mean, you list the gamut. You've lived it, or you can talk about it. Where can people find your information?
They can go to my website. What I'm mostly talking about today, or what I'm doing today, is trying to work with corporations, because so many people this great resignation is hitting so many corporations so hard, because people are asking that question that we asked way back when our experience: how can I be happier in life? And corporations are focused on, how can I keep my employees happy at work? But that's not the question people are asking. They want to be happy in their whole life. And they're finally asking the question. And I think it's great because I've talked about these ideas of happiness and fulfillment in the past, but 5 years ago, the percentage of the population that was focused on that kind of self-improvement was very small. And the pandemic has opened up this floodgates of people examining their lives and looking for a happier life, which makes me happy that more people are focused on making their lives better. So anyway, that's what I'm doing now. But I have some resources for people on my website, and it's just my name, robdubin.com. A couple of things I have on the website that might interest people. I have some downloadable PDFs with some of the things we talked about. And because we retired at age 40, I was 42 when we retired, people always ask us how we afforded that. And I used some of the same techniques that have to do with happiness and resiliency. And I have a downloadable PDF people can get on the frequently asked questions page. And it explains how we thought about money, how we changed our money mindset, and then how we learned a little bit about investing. So how we were able to basically achieve financial independence at a young age and stay retired for many years. The other question we get all the time is people say, well, how did you and your wife get along so well on a small boat 24/7? And this year we'll hit our 40th year of being married. So I have some relationship secrets there, that things that have worked for us. That's another PDF people can download.
That's another podcast.
Be on the frequently asked questions page of my website.
Okay, perfect. We'll definitely check that out. I'm going to need that. Well, Rob, thanks again for coming on the show. I know things were a little bit difficult. I really appreciate it. Also, Gail has joined the show. So, Gayla, so thank you so much for coming on and joining us as well. So thank you, Rob, for coming on the show. Again, appreciate
it. Thank you guys for having me. And I'm sorry if the technical difficulties were on, but hopefully your listeners got something to benefit.
Absolutely. I'm sure that they have, and they've already commented that they've got some good stuff. So I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Wow.
That was some good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I know we flew through it, and it was a little difficult to hear some of the stuff that was going on, but I would really encourage you to go to the website, look at those PDFs, those frequently asked questions. There is some great stuff on there. If we could just like he said, just be a little bit grateful, write things down at the end of the day. What are you grateful for? And I don't know if you guys caught this, but practice contribution, he said, was the holy grail of it, and giving back and helping and trying to live and be part of something bigger than yourself, he said, was part of the key to that. So if you want to donate to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, you're more than welcome to. We'll gladly take your contribution. Joking aside, please, give back. And, one of the things that we do when you do donate to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast is we help other people out. We think, just being a Patreon subscriber, it just goes to help our show. Some of it does, but honestly, the majority of the expenses that come out of that are to help other people, help other listeners. So, we're not trying to hoard it. We do give back. So that's one great thing about the show.
Yep. The interview has me thinking about what one of my keys to happiness is, and it's a single barrel bourbon. So just want to throw that out there.
You liking the old Bakers, eh?
Oh, I love the Bakers. Yeah. This is one of my favorites when I can find it.
Yeah. Nice.
Delicious.
I think Father Tommy is on the show, and he's got some bottles to send back with Chris this month. So yay, Father Tommy. Those are coming back, right? Guys, thank you so much for joining. Next week, again, we have Kurt Nelson, behavioral scientist, focused on positive behavioral change, motivation, influence, and habit formation. Again, Erin Waller will be back, or will be on the show, so she will be a new voice to the show. We got to come up with like a nickname for her, so that'll be fun. Guys, again, thank you for tuning in to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. If you're listening to this via your podcast aggregate, we also got, we do this live on Thursday, so go back, watch the show. You could see us, be silly or, try to figure out what the heck we're doing, because this just goes straight to the feed. So there'll be a big pause of nothing. So if you want to see a big pause of nothing, there you go. Or some behind the scenes stuff too that we may cut out during the actual edit. So anyway, just a call to go there. Thanks again for tuning in to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. And as always, keep looking up.